Hi everybody and welcome back to Redline, and today we've got a CUPRA Leon 300 on test. Now we've already had this car on test last year. We ran a print magazine article on it, but we've got it back because we want to do a couple of videos. Now this car does have one very big problem, and we'll get to that shortly. But first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to get out on the public road, we're going to drive it, we're going to discuss all the things that we like about it. Now, before we crack on with the video, I just wanted to let you know YouTube is only a very small part of what we do here at Redline. Predominantly, we are a print motoring magazine. You can find us on the shelves of WH Smith. You can also get copies from our website. We've got lots of really cool editorial features in there, including car reviews. And we've also got a fully interactive mobile phone app, which you can upload your own content to, connect with like-minded car enthusiasts and read all the latest motoring news. So if you're interested in any of that, please do go and check out the links that I've left in the comments section below the like button. It's all in there. And yeah, if you like what you see, get involved with what we're doing. And of course, if you like our videos, particularly this video, give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right, let's talk about some of the things that I really enjoy about this CUPRA Leon 300, because trust me when I tell you, it has a lot of redeeming qualities, this car. Now, I've always been a bit of a fast Seat fanboy. I've always enjoyed these cars massively. They always feel like more than the sum of their parts. There's just a sparkle to these cars. They perform really well, they handle brilliantly. They're practical, they're easy to use every single day. They're just really good all-round hot hatchbacks. And the news is good here. This CUPRA Leon 300 continues that trend. So it's roads like this, the classic British B road, where the CUPRA Leon 300 really comes into its own. So we've got multiple driving modes available to us here. So we've got comfort, there's sport, there's CUPRA, and there's an individual mode, which allows you to set the car up to your personal preference. At the moment, we're in comfort, and the car on bumpy roads like this is extremely compliant, but everything else is dulled down, so the throttle response isn't that great, and really it's just a cruising driving mode. We're going to skip over sport and we're going to go to CUPRA, because really, I mean, that's what you're here for, right? Immediately the car changes, it becomes a lot more responsive. That suspension now feels a lot firmer than it did before, and the car just feels like it's more eager and more ready to get on with the job of driving. And I must say, the performance is, well, there's plenty of it. 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, we all know the one, that ubiquitous engine in the VW group. Here we've got 295 brake horsepower, 295 foot-pounds of torque. Yes, there's quite a lot of go here. 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds in this car, and a top speed of 155 miles an hour, all of which is fed through the front wheels. It is more than enough poke for the public road. Really don't need any more than that. And yeah, the car feels very, very fast. The engine's quite punchy as well. There's lots of torque, there's very little lag, and yeah, it just gets up and goes, and it's a hugely responsive, hugely entertaining engine. All I would say is that it could sound a little bit better, okay? I mean, we're in CUPRA at the moment, and you're supposed to have more sound coming into the cabin, and I don't know, we're really not getting a huge amount of that right now, but that aside, yeah, strong engine. The gearbox, that's really good as well. We've got a 7-speed DSG in this car. You can flick it into manual mode and take control of it via the paddles. Yeah, downshifts are quick, upshifts are smooth. It's a really great gearbox. Again, this is used throughout the VW group, and it's a very, very, very fine instrument. Right, interesting piece of road here. Let's have a little bit of fun. Lots of corners, down a couple of gears. You can hear the pops and bangs on the exhaust. Lots of fun. And yeah, you can really trail brake this car into the corner and then pick the throttle up again immediately, and the front wheels and the diff just pull you clean out of the corner. It's really entertaining and really engaging. You really get a good idea of where the front wheels are in this car, and you get that through the steering as well. not because it gives you much actual feedback through the rim, but just it's well weighted and you know where the front wheels are in proportion to the front of the car and where it is on the road. Yeah, lots and lots of confidence, loads of grip as well. It really gives you the impetus to push on in this car, and trust me, you can really take some liberties with it as well. And if you lift off a little bit, that back end will come round slightly as well. It's a hugely entertaining chassis. Now, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that this car has quite a big problem. So let's discuss what that is. My beef concerns the inside of the car. And I'm not talking about the interior. No, that I really, really like. It's really well put together, it's well made. There's some quality materials in here, and I really enjoy the design of it as well. I really like these sort of angular shapes. It's a nice place to be. I think it's attractive. And also these seats are really comfortable, and also the color of this cabin as well. It's called petrol blue, and I'm sure it won't be to everybody's taste, but I really like it. But no, my problem is with two things. It's the infotainment system and it's the lack of usable buttons inside here. Another annoying thing concerns the climate control. So here you've got these touchpads at the bottom of the screen. It would be nice to have buttons, to be honest. It would be a lot more tactile to use, but we've got touchpads, but that's not the main problem. I mean, you press them, they work fairly well. Okay, it's not an issue. However, at night, these little blue and red strips here, which show you whether you're turning on the warm or cold air, they don't illuminate at night. So you either have to sit there and press aimlessly, hoping that you actually get the correct temperature, or you have to go again into the infotainment system. You have to take your eyes off the road, right? And you have to adjust the temperature using the main screen. And again, you're being distracted, you're having to use the infotainment system. It would be nice to have some physical buttons that you can use instead. But the single most annoying thing, and unfortunately I can't demonstrate it for you at this very moment in time, but trust me, it's happened to me on a number of occasions. Two things. First of all, the lag of the infotainment system. When you start the car up, it sometimes takes like a good minute or two to boot up properly. Or in some instances, it just crashes completely. The other day I set off on a 20-minute journey, and 10 minutes into the journey, the damn thing still hadn't booted up yet. And I had to pull over, I had to turn the car off, and I had to turn it back on again for the thing to start working. Now, the problem with that is that it can be incredibly disruptive. So let's say, I don't know, you want to go on a 4 or 5 hour car journey, okay, and you want to use the sat nav. You can't use any of that until the infotainment system's booted up and it's ready to go. If it's a long journey and you just want to crack on with it and the system decides to crash for 10 minutes, you're going to be delayed by quite some substantial amount of time. And you know, just if you're driving along and you're waiting for it to boot up, you can't change the driving modes. There's just a number of functions that are embedded into the infotainment system, and quite simply, if it doesn't work, you can't use them. And it's just not good enough, is it? It's a real frustration. And the problem is, we had one of these cars on test for the magazine last year, and we encountered the exact same problems with it. And this was, what, 11 months ago now? You would have thought there would have been some sort of software update that helped rectify these issues, but no. If anything, the user experience that I've had this time has been worse than the one that I had last year. So, and this has been a bit of a problem with some of the VW Group products as well. It's not just in the Seats and in the Cupras, it's in the Volkswagens as well. We had a Golf R on test and it suffered from some of the same problems. And it's not just this car, it's multiple vehicles that are having these issues. So yes, the infotainment system is a problem, and I'll be honest, it's detracting from what is overall a really good ownership proposition. Okay, let's summarize my final thoughts on this CUPRA Leon 300. It's really a case of the good and the ugly, isn't it? I mean, to drive, it's brilliant. This car should be a very easy recommendation. If you're in the market for a hot hatchback, I should be telling you right now to go out and buy one of these. Let's be very plain about this, but I can't. I don't care. Well, I do care. I really enjoy how this car drives. It really speaks to the way that I like to drive, and it's really practical and really comfortable, and I think it looks great as well. but the infotainment system is just a massive letdown. And that's all it is. There are points where it's insufferable, genuinely insufferable, and it's disruptive. And for that reason, it makes it not such an easy recommendation, unfortunately. And that's a shame, because I really like this car, but one of the major things that you interact with on a regular basis just doesn't work properly. Or when it does work, but when it doesn't work, it's really annoying. So it makes it difficult to recommend. I'm sorry, and it pains me to say it. There you go.